YouTube, what's good, man? Hey, we back with another video, man. Hey, it's a lot of talk about this coming solar eclipse, April 8th. Today is April 4th, so I had to hurry up and put something together and cover this real quick, just a little bit, because it's a lot behind it. Biblical signs, revelation talk, end talk, a lot, a lot. The last one was back in 2017, I believe. And with that came, I think it was a lot of earthquakes, tornadoes. It was a lot of bad weather that followed the path of that solar eclipse. And with this one coming, it's going to make a cross. It's going to exile the United States. Another funny thing is that, how, you know what? Nah. This what we gonna do. I ain't gonna do too much more talking. Because like I said, this solar eclipse thing is new to me. Just like it's new to you. Let's dig deeper. Because what we here for is the truth. So let's get it, man. Let's go.
For centuries, civilizations have stared into the skies at its mysteries in amazement. One celestial...
Real quick, the truth is, on YouTube, go follow them, subscribe to them, like the video. Let's get it. Same with me. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
phenomenon ancient civilizations were obsessed with was the solar eclipse. Many in the past have tried to make sense of all its wonders, trying to explain its meaning. A tradition that has lived on for centuries, as to this very day, staring at the stars looking for a deeper meaning, is still being practiced. In fact, many people are getting ready to do just that on April 8th. Stare at the sky and witness the transformation of the bright sun become a dark void, what we call a solar eclipse. While the world is awaiting the upcoming total solar eclipse, I believe it's important we look at what the past civilizations believed the eclipse represented. In almost all ancient worlds, the eclipse represented something that they dreaded, a pending doom. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's...
Think about it though. 2016, 2017, that solar eclipse, it was like a new wave after that, right? With music, with just how life went. It was like a whole new wave right after that. So was it kind of like the end of one thing? You know what I mean? So what could come? Let's just
Today's
keep
episode,
going.
we will be talking about the total solar eclipse on April 8th. Let's get right into it. For the last few days, people have been excited about this total solar eclipse. The eclipse is expected to appear in the sky on April 8th, starting in Mexico, making its way through the US, and ending in Canada. It is being reported that the eclipse is expected to darken the skies in the areas it's passing through during the middle of the day. According to NASA, a total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. The sky will darken as if it were dawn or dusk. This total eclipse is seen as a very special one by those in the astronomy community, due to the fact that the world won't see another one for at least 2 decades. According to astronomers, the next total solar eclipse won't happen again until
Total solar eclipse. In the beginning, I was just saying solar eclipse. I don't know if it's a difference, but let's get it right. Total solar eclipse.
2044. While most people can't wait for April 8th, others online are concerned about the eclipse for a strange reason. On April 8th, people really aren't expecting much out of the ordinary, besides the fact that the skies will turn black for a few minutes. or so they thought, as according to many state emergency officials, they are expecting areas to be affected severely by the eclipse, believing something catastrophic could happen. According to Fox News, several states and some Texas counties that will be in the path of totality during the April solar eclipse have issued warnings and a state of emergency ahead of the event. They are advising citizens in Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio, Indiana, and New York to either shelter in place during the eclipse or in some states to stock up on emergency supplies, food, and water. They're also warning about the possibility of loss of cell service, power, and other possible interruptions. Many are finding this all too strange as to why emergency officials are declaring a state of emergency over a solar eclipse.
Right. They think it's gonna get that deep though. Like I don't know, man.
FEMA are sending out disasters assistant notices for April 8th.
So I stopped into work to get a 15-piece nugget, and there's this on the front desk. FEMA has stopped by to give us a disaster assistance notice with the deadline of April 8th. That's strange. That's the same day as the solar eclipse.
That's written in pen. He could have wrote that.
And everyone's freaking out about it.
And also, it's being reported that even the National Guard is going to be deployed in response to the solar eclipse.
Also new at 5, we are less than a month away from a total solar eclipse, and now the National Guard is being called in to help with all the extra tourists. McCurtain County requested the help as thousands of people are expected to flood into southeastern Oklahoma to see that eclipse. Officials in McCurtain County with the population.
I mean, that's understandable though. I mean, ain't nothing too weird about that. This like kind of like a once in a lifetime thing. Like, what a time to be alive for people who was born around the time I was born, because we are blessed to see two. But for some people, that's just like a once in a lifetime thing. And if you know how things are going nowadays, people ain't really living too long, especially where I'm from.
Population of 30,000. Expect upwards of 100,000 people to visit, which could put an obvious strain on resources. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol and Choctaw Nation are also helping prepare. It'll be a busy time for sure.
Boy, it is.
Why are they warning people to get out and get supplies or to shelter in place if it's only supposed to darken the sky? These precautions emergency officials are recommending don't match those made during previous total solar eclipses. If we look at the tips given to prepare for the eclipse that was expected back in 2017, we see a whole different set of recommendations. All they recommended was that people kept their headlights on, put the sun visor down to block the view, do not wear the eclipse glasses while driving, and do not try to photograph or video the eclipse. They also recommended that the people exit the roadway and park in a safe area to view the eclipse.
You seen that? It's just simple stuff, it's normal stuff. Because what? Now they calling the National Guard and all this, but we got keep in mind everything else that we got going on. Keep in mind all the the immigrants that's illegally here now by the thousands, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands in the last couple of years. Think about everything that's going on now. Do you think FEMA could be trying to kick something off in the middle of that? Maybe they trying to start something.
While this year, they are declaring a full-on state of emergency, telling people to grab emergency supplies like they're expecting something crazy to happen. This is simply not adding up to me and to many others. If we listen to this news clip from a Texas station that asks an emergency official about why they made the declaration, he claims it was declared a state of emergency to be prepared in case of a pending emergency.
The unknowns, not knowing how many people are coming, we could exhaust our resources really quick.
We are counting down to the total eclipse now, less than a month away. Kendall County, the latest, issue a disaster declaration ahead of next.
Look, that's cap. If people ain't there now, people ain't coming until the 8th or until the 7th. And they'll be there for the eclipse, and then they getting up, going through. Because what else is there to see in Oklahoma? They there for the eclipse, and then they gone. But y'all trying to put out all this extras. Oh, make sure you stock up on water. Make sure like it's this big disaster about to happen. Why are you doing that? Are you planning? It's something else planned that we don't know. Like I said, they gotta tell us. They gotta put it out there some kind of way. We just gotta read between the lines. I don't think nothing gonna happen personally, but we gonna see, man. Because like I said, what a time to be alive, man. Things are coming out. The truth is being told. Like, it's crunch time for the elites. Like, their time is up. So they could be pulling out all the stops, man. They could be knocking shit down. You seen what's going on with the bridges. Like, look, let's see. Simple as that.
Issued disaster declarations include Bell County, Travis County, and Kirk County. While we are familiar with what a disaster declaration means for wildfire, maybe even severe weather, what do they mean when it comes to an eclipse? East 4 San Antonio's Stephanie Esquivel is getting answers tonight from local officials.
Issuing a disaster declaration ahead of next month's eclipse is a proactive measure Kendall County officials are taking to ensure enough resources are available in case of an emergency.
We're not going to be able to rely on our regular mutual aid partners because they're coming from counties that are experiencing the same issues we are. So it just gives us a little bit better avenue to reach out for the state for additional resources or supplies or things like that should we need them.
Emergency Management Coordinator for Kendall County, Jeff Binks, says he wants to be prepared for any emergency that could arise.
Just what emergency are they expecting a solar eclipse to cause? Well, if we go back to ancient times, many pagan civilizations used to look at solar eclipses as a sign of pending doom. They believed that the eclipse was a symbol of the end times and that with its presence, great disasters would occur. These ancient pagan civilizations would perform rituals and sacrifices to the gods in response to the eclipse as they believed there was a sign from them, while other ancient civilizations saw the eclipse as a symbol of the planet going through a death and rebirth. This is what occultists to this day use an eclipse to represent. They perform special rituals for these occasions that could only be done under a solar eclipse. So April 8th is a day that will be well anticipated by occultists. Even in the Bible, it speaks of disasters following what seems to be a solar eclipse. In the Bible, it speaks of prophecies that are fulfilled by the presence of a total solar eclipse. In Acts 2:20, it states the sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. Many have interpreted this verse to be speaking about an eclipse being a sign of the second coming of Yeshua, or what most people know him by, Jesus Christ. We also see an interesting verse in Luke 21:25. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. What greater sign in the sky than a total solar eclipse? Something else that people are pointing out is that the total solar eclipse is set to pass over two U.S. cities named Nineveh. Nineveh is actually a biblical name of a great fallen city that was full of wickedness. In the story of Jonah in the Bible, it speaks about the Lord appearing onto a man named Jonah. God ordered Jonah to travel to the great fallen city of Nineveh to preach against their sin. God wanted Jonah to tell the people of Nineveh who were worshiping false gods and sinning to repent for their sins. If not, he would destroy their great city. This total solar eclipse is set to pass over two cities that are named Nineveh, one in the state of Indiana and another in the state of Ohio. What's even more interesting about this is that in the Bible, it speaks of Christ declaring the sign of Jonah being a symbol of his return, stating in Matthew 12:39, "Then some of the scribes and Pharisees told Jesus, 'Teacher, we want to see a sign from you.' But he replied to them, 'An evil and adulterous generation craves a sign, yet no sign will be given to except the sign of the prophet Jonah. Because just as Jonah was in the stomach of the sea creature for 3 days and 3 nights, so the Son of Man will be in the heart of earth for 3 days.'"
I'm a hungry individual. I want to grow. I want to learn.
I came across the Google Career Certificate.
My boss told me when she
days and 3 nights. Considering that Christ makes it clear that in the time of his return, we will see the sign of the prophet Jonah, some people believe that the fact that the total solar eclipse is passing over these U.S. cities called Nineveh, and it will consume the moon and the sun, could indicate this being a biblical prophecy coming to fruition. a sign that something biblical is coming. Many people will agree that we're living in very evil and adulterous times. Many people have abandoned God and refuse to believe Him off solely faith, demanding that He appears to them in order to believe. Add these biblical coincidences with the odd responses from emergency officials, and you will start to understand why people are concerned. With what I know about the occult, I know the significance of the eclipse. The Masons often use the eclipse as a representation of the death and rebirth of the world. Most of you.
Hey, check it out. I just had some crazy technical difficulties during this that I ain't never had before. But look, we ain't gonna get into that too deep. But I was about to say something, and that messed me up. I want to rewind it, but we ain't gonna do all that. It didn't start to get too deep. If you're paying attention, hey.
You should be aware of the Masonic goal of a New World Order. In order for a New World Order to be born, the old order must die, and the new order will be reborn.
It's an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Now's a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it.
The solar eclipse represents rebirth, which is what the central theme for this year's halftime show was. They had Usher wearing a phoenix pin on his outfit, which also represents a rebirth, while performing on the celestial sun, which is.
And we covered this too. If you don't know, we covered the Super Bowl halftime show too. Go back and look at that video. It's on my page after you finish this video.
Is another symbol of rebirth. The sun then darkens, which indicates a solar eclipse, which is another symbol of rebirth. If you saw my video breaking down the halftime ritual, you would know that I made it clear the entire performance was an announcement of the coming new world. They were letting us know the time is coming, and they were showing us through symbolism. Before they show Usher on the celestial sun, they showed them on a ticking clock, which is a symbol of a pending doom. After the clock, we see he's on the celestial sun that turns dark. We must remember that the occult has always deeply cherished solar eclipse. They see it as a sacred day they perform their rituals on. The death and rebirth of the spiritual and physical order of life in itself is a ritual. The fact that Hollywood has been using heavy end times imagery since last year, it aligns with the concept of them preparing for the rebirth ritual they would use to bring in the New World Order. They knew this eclipse would take place on this date, and it appears that they have given this date much significance. While I don't think or know if anything physically would happen on April 8th, I do believe something spiritually will. It seems that they have been preparing for this total solar eclipse to mark this rebirth, signs that they have been showing us for a very long time. In fact, David Bowie's video Black Star is about the new world approaching, and the video starts with a total solar eclipse. Occultists have been pointing at this celestial event as the marker of their new world. The pagans believed the eclipse was a symbol of a pending doom and the rebirth of the planet. These occultists are modern pagans and are using it for the same purpose. While I am not saying anything will happen on April 8th, I am saying that I see all the same signs everyone with their eyes open can see. Something odd is definitely going on, and we're all going to witness it. I believe all the end times imagery they have been recently using ties in with all of this. The fact that we have been seeing people embody the Antichrist spirit, those like Kanye and Kendrick Lamar, presenting themselves like false Christ, and also the fact that these celebrities have been using 4 horsemen apocalypse imagery tells me a lot as well. I believe it all connects to this April 8th total solar eclipse, and it appears that they have symbolically chosen this eclipse to represent their rebirth. While the world might not see its effects immediately, eventually it will become apparent. Now, I will say, it has never been a better time for you to seek God and repent, as it appears the fateful hour is approaching. Well, that's it for this one, but before you guys go, I just wanted to ask you guys.
Check it out though. What 17? What happened? It was like a shift, like I said earlier. It really was, bro. It was really like a shift in everything, in music, in the culture. You know, just how we did everything, how we dressed, like everything shifted. Streaming took off, like just all kind of different things, bro. I know I'm missing a lot, but I should have wrote a couple things down before I, But still though, think about that. Was that total solar eclipse, you know, the end of one thing and the start of something new? And with this total solar eclipse, kind of like completing the cycle, what do you think this will bring? Huh? We gotta think about that. Yeah, I know. We gotta think about stuff like that. But what? What? Don't look at me like that. Like I'm the crazy one. You know, this is the truth is, you know what I'm saying? That we are not told everything. The truth is we are kept in the dark all the time about everything. We don't know until it's too late. You know? So what do y'all think about this total solar eclipse? Like me, I wasn't too deep in it until I started looking more into it, and I'm like, is this thing going to be more than just a total solar eclipse? And not because of the total solar eclipse, but because of man. That's right, but because of humans, because of what they're going to do because of the total solar eclipse. Just like back in the day, how they used to y'all seen that movie Apocalypse though? Yeah, how they would the total solar eclipse came and shit like that, and they was chopping people's head off, sacrificing them to whatever god it was. Hey, I ain't saying the government gonna be out here chopping people's heads off and stuff, but they got weather control. They got this. They got that. They already put in the National Guard. Like, and let me see if I can find that Pacific point, because the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? If I'm wrong, hey, my bad. But I think I'm right. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And the projection of this total solar eclipse, I'm trying to find that point in the video real quick where they showed it. Boom. Where is it? All right, check this out. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But if you look at the projection of this total solar eclipse, is it coming from the west and going towards the east? So, look, I just keep my eyes open. I just keep an open mind looking at these things, but keep your house ready, you know. Hey, man, you got to be on top, bro. You got to be on top of these things because you given the history of our government, man, it's nothing to play with. The history of our government, bro, is nothing to play with. We can't take these things lightly. Them mother say prepare. How about prepare? Because they gonna do something, or something just might happen. Might not be on the 8th. It could be on the 10th. It could be on the 15th. But prepare. Total solar eclipse, April 8th. Put in the comments, man, if you're going to be stopping whatever you're doing to come outside during the time of the total solar eclipse to get a look at it. I remember 2017, I was at my 9 to 5. I came outside with the rest of the job. We sat out there and we watched the total solar eclipse. And like I said, it was a shift. So could another shift happen this time to where, like I've been saying in recent videos, that everything can start to go digital for real. They can push that mark of the beast for real. You're going to need to wear a chip here or here or here. You're going to have to get a chip inserted to pay for everything and stuff like that. Super digital. They'll do Apple Vision Pros out. Huh? Maybe things could be going towards that level. Check out the Apple Vision Pros. I ain't promoting them. They ain't sent me one. But check them out. Them things are crazy. Yeah. You have to register your persona. Yeah. You have to register your persona. You're giving them your persona, your makeup. And they put out a little cartoon Apple you for FaceTime and, for, when you talking to other people in the metaverse. Yeah. It's real estate in the metaverse. All kind of stuff like that now. Yeah. If you didn't know. Yeah. Look. I'm just a messenger. Don't believe everything you see in these videos. Do the research for yourself. If you are new, like, comment, subscribe. Man, get in the comment section. Let's talk about these things, man. What's up? You dig? Total solar eclipse, man. Big homie Sean, man. This is the Rebel World. I'm out with another video, man. I pray prosperity over your lives, man. You will prosper. You will multiply. You are loved, man. I'm out. Y'all have a good one.